Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lash Journey podcast. Today, I am joined by a very special guest, someone near and dear to my heart. Her name is Gretchen McCants, and she is the owner and CEO of My Brand Lashes. If you haven't heard of her, you are completely living under a rock because she is a superstar in our industry. She has paved the way for so many lash artists and other business owners to know what it is like to truly not only run a business, but run it in a very genuine and authentic way. And that is why I love her so much. And I can't wait to have her on the show. So, hey, Gretchen, how are you?
It's so good. How are you, Tiff?
Good. I can't wait to catch up because I feel like we haven't talked in forever, but you are always just such a positive light and somebody who I know that I can really relate to. And that is why I asked you to be on my podcast. I know I haven't really had a lot of guests yet, but when I thought about who I wanted to have on first, you immediately came to mind. So thank you for being here. And for those of you who don't know about my relationship with Gretchen and how we came to meet, we met about 8 years ago, probably even 9 years ago now, on a Facebook message board. And we have gone through this industry, like so many changes for the both of us. And we'll get into that story a little bit later. But I just think it's so cool how she literally is the one person that I have known the longest. And it is so cool to see her where she's at now. And the reason why I was just naturally drawn to her is just because of how genuine she is and how, I think that there are brands who just put out a product and they do it to make money or do whatever else. And Gretchen has always, every step that she has taken in this industry, she's done it because she just genuinely loves it and she loves helping people. And she every single good thing that has happened to her, she deserves it. So that's how I've always viewed her. And I hope that you guys are going to get to see that too with our interview here. Um, I think that another thing that really sticks out to me about Gretchen is just that not only is she an amazing CEO and business owner, but she is a mom of three beautiful girls. And we've always connected with that. Both of our youngest, they were born around the same time. So we went through pregnancy together. We had our girls. They are literal like mini me's of each other too. I can't wait for them to actually meet one day. It's gonna happen. But I feel like I feel like we already feel like they know each other, right? But anyway, so the other thing that we have always connected on is that we are both true visionaries through and through. We have a million ideas and we love to talk to each other about our ideas and how we think that those ideas are going to happen. We're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other. But anyway, let's get into Gretchen because this is all about her. And Gretchen, I think that we have something to tell the audience too. We have a little bit of an announcement to make. So, do you want to go ahead and start off with our announcement?
I would love to. I'm so excited to finally get it out there.
I know. So, this is the first time any of you guys are hearing it, but we are co-hosting the opening party of LashCon. If you don't know what LashCon is, if you haven't been, it is like the Super Bowl for our industry. There's 3 whole days of business, lash artistry, and just so much fun when it comes to networking and getting to meet all of the really awesome people that you see online and other people who are going through the same exact things as you. And Gretchen and I are so honored to announce that we are co-hosting this event. And I couldn't think of anyone else. When Gretchen first took on this event and she asked me to help her with it, I was so excited and I just feel so grateful and honored. Gretchen, do you want to tell them about the party and what our plans are?
Yes, guys, we have been working so hard behind the scenes on this, and we're so excited to announce we're going to be doing a all white themed party for the kickoff. So think like Kardashians, Hampton vibes times 10 times lashes. So
Yeah.
it's going to be me and Tiffany going together. Me and Tiffany are and our brands just are all about glam and sophistication and consistency. And so you're going to see that in our party. We're going to do a lot of networking. It's the first day of LashCon, so it's a lot of first-time people coming and not knowing anybody in the industry. You get to meet the big names or the people you see online, and you just get to come and connect and see them as real people and build genuine connections with them. And so we're so excited that we're the ones who get to host that. So thank you, Paul and Destiny. Like, we appreciate that so much. And we have the best fun ideas just to make it not awkward and just to come and find your home within the Lash community and find your support system. And we are so excited that we get to meet all of you guys like 101 too, and really just spend a whole night just networking. And it's going to be top notch. Like, we're so excited about it.
Yep, top notch indeed. So if you don't know what to wear to LashCon, make sure you have the best standout white outfit you can possibly have. We're going to have everything decked out. It is just going to be so beautiful. And again, I couldn't think of anyone better to throw this with. I know that we're just looking forward to pouring into like all of the little details that are going to make this event like, this is the kickoff. Let's go. I can't wait to be in Anaheim. It's October 13th from 7 to 10 p.m. So hopefully we will see you there.
Rooftop.
Yep. Okay.
And
so
for the record, anybody watching really quick, Tiffany always has the best outfits, literally possible. So my goal at LashCon today is to beat hers this year, and nobody's ever came close. So if you're looking for a standard to hit Tiffany's, and then she'll be ahead of us.
You know what? Now I feel like a little bit more pressure. I need to start like,
yeah, because your outfits are always on point, like no matter what.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. Like, I'm the type of person that looks for any and every reason to get like all glam and go all out. So like, this is it. This is our Met Gala, right? Yes, 110%. So Gretchen, I feel like you've been on so many podcasts, and for people who have seen you, speak in person or have gotten to know you, they might see a certain side of you, but I feel really blessed that I get to see a completely different side of you. And that is the side of a friend and somebody that I can confide in and who always has my back. And I want to kind of touch on some of those attributes that I see so positively in you, and just kind of show the audience a different side to you that maybe they don't know about. So I have a couple of questions for you, if that's okay. Okay, cool. So the first is that I want you to tell everybody about your why. Like, everybody knows what you do, they know who you are, but why? Why do you do what you do? How did you get into, not only get into this industry, but how did you get to where you are now, where, you have this massive brand, one of the OG brands that everybody just loves and respects? How did you push yourself through with that why?
So let's start with what my why is. My why is, I think, the same as a lot of people's and different. So I would say my why is obviously my children. Like, I want to build a legacy for them that they never have to see struggle, but they know how to get there as well. So they don't just get it handed. They see the struggle. They see the steps to take to make your dreams come true. Like, that's huge to me. So I think that that's a lot of moms' why. I think if we take it back a notch too, like, I feel like in high school and as a kid, like, I was always trying to prove myself. I was always I knew that there was something better for me, and I just didn't know how to achieve it. I knew that all I wanted to do was like really help people, because people are my superpower and that is what I'm so passionate about. And then it was like, okay, but how do I do that and monetize it?
Yeah.
And so I think that truly my reason why is like for myself these days too. Like, I've been going through so many life changes and figuring out who I am as a human again too. And in that, like to show that younger Gretchen, or like that teenage Gretchen, and the like her worth, but also like what she is capable of doing and how many people like I can help along the way with that too. And there's nothing better to me and more fulfilling to me, like when I'm at a training and I just see the light go on, and they'd be like, I've been trying that for 4 years and that's never worked. And I'm like, it was just this, like, being able to be a part of that, or to be somebody's like soundboard that's like a safe place. Like, you have been that for me too. And I can't say how much I appreciate that, because I mean, you are such a quality friend, and I like the quote, 4 quarters than 100 pennies, and we have so many quarters in our industry, and we've been just surrounding ourselves with them, I feel like, this past year. And like, look how much our businesses have grown, look how much we've grown as people. So that would definitely be my reason why, is for younger Gretchen and my kids. But then also like I am learning to give myself grace and like really cheer on the journey too, because I don't know if you can relate with this, but I have built so much, but I've never looked at it as I'm building. Like, I've always been like, oh, okay, yeah, I just bought one of the largest companies in the lash industry. Oh, but now I have debt, right?
Mhm.
Or, oh, I just opened a salon, but now I have to do X, Y, and Z. And
Mhm.
it's like, wait, like when do you like just sit back and be like, wow, you did that? Because
Yeah.
I think when you're in it and you're grinding, like at least me, like my mindset always was, well, anybody can do this. And it's true, anybody can do it, but everyone's not going to. We can give them A
Exactly.
to B how to do it, and they're not going to do it. And so, I mean, even think of the ideas we bounced off of each other too. I mean, we were moving to the moon at one point. No, just joking, but literally. And so, just actually, like, the follow through is everything. And so, I don't like my journey has been so much in like the 7, 8, 9 years that I've been lashing, but it's also been so short as well. And so I'm so excited to see like what those next steps are, how I start evolving, how I start changing all of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, and like you pointed out, sometimes you don't look back at what you've created. Like you just get so caught up in the like, okay, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I know I'm like that, right? Like I have this constant list of things that need to be done. And one wrong thing could happen and I could feel like I'm not productive or things aren't moving forward. And then I look back and I'm like, oh wait, look at what I've just done in the last 2 weeks alone. And I think because we are just so like accustomed to like push ourselves like more, more, more. And like knowing like what you said with giving yourself grace, like knowing that it's okay to step back and look at what you've done and be proud of yourself and not just like I love, I love that your why is your girls and proving younger Gretchen, um, that you can do it, but also being able to look at the growth that you've had, yourself personally in the past year and be able to look at that and say, I deserve it too. Like my why is to be a happy woman and, a happy mom and be present in my life. And that is okay too.
110%. Yeah, I and be present in my children's life, right? Like I don't want to have kids to create this amazing world for them that I can buy them everything in the world, but not be there for any of the moments either. And like mom guilt is so much as an entrepreneur too, because we have so many goals and so many things we want to do. But then like, how do we make sure we do that, but also are succeeding in like the mom life and then succeeding as a partner and succeeding as a salon owner? And I think you and me relate so much, and that's why like we can find in each other's. We have so many people counting on us at all times, and that pressure is fine, and we love that pressure, and we thrive on that. However, some days it gets to be so much, like it feels like the walls are caving in on you. And not to say that on the bad days they do not overweigh the good, right? Or wait, the good overweighs the bad, obviously. However, it's just like so important that grace. That's like my word right now is just like giving myself grace and like just being content with exactly where I'm at in the exact moment, and then, like, just so excited for the future knowing good things are coming too.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I think about this all the time. Like, what is content, and will I ever be it? Like, will we ever find it? I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know that I have that in me. But when it comes to the girls, like, oh my gosh, I always see these, Instagram reels of the kids, like, starting out young and like, pop, they're older, and you hear so many older people like say that to us, right? Like, cherish it now because it goes by so quick. And even just seeing our girls go from, you know, I feel like we were just pregnant yesterday with Arya and Kai, and it's like they're 4 now. And like where they're yeah. Yeah, it really does go by so fast. And like as much as I know I've been grinding this past year and you've been grinding, like we do have to remember that there is some type of integration that needs to happen. And I think that everybody's always trying to find that balance, but really it's about like, how can I build this life for myself and my family that I am able to be present when I need to be? And I'm, at the same time, I'm showing the girls that they can do it too. Like they can be a boss, they can do this too. And like I love that about the field that we're in and the position that we're in that we've worked so hard to get to where we're able to take a step back. But I think that at the same time our biggest enemy is us. y- You know, what would you say are some of the biggest roadblocks that you've experienced when it comes to being a mom and having to run a business? Like what are the biggest things that hold you up in either realm?
I think, when I come home, it's never just home. I almost am envy of an 8 to 5 sometimes that like I could just leave it at the door and pick it back up the next day, because like for instance, literally this morning I was on a conference call negotiating USPS rates and I get a call from one of the girls at the studio saying that the AC broke, you know? And so then it's like, oh, okay, let's do that. And then my daughter wants me to take her to the park. Okay, let's take a break out to do that. Like I am pretty good at separating the two. Like these are my work hours, these are my home hours. However, they're gonna coincide no matter what. You get the midnight text, the 1 a.m. text, and then you can't go to sleep because now you have that. Or we get at least I'm playing Barbies with my 4-year-old and all of a sudden I get a business idea and I need to go write it down immediately and I want to start working on it that night because I'm so excited about it, because that's what fuels me as soon as they go to bed. So I would say the balance of just making sure that like both needs are being met. That would be one of the biggest, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that I definitely have an issue with that too. I think when like and I've gone through seasons. Everybody says this. There's seasons of, work, 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 family, family, family. When I was a single mom at first with Kai, I really did have to shut off from work. And I was lucky that I grew the salons to be, efficient and run without me there. I was able to take a really long maternity leave and I was able to only work 3 half days and like go and pick her up from school. But I had to. That was the place in my life where I had, that I was all she had. And I think that season what looked a lot different than the season after having my second, which for some odd reason that sent me into like hyper productive mode where now I'm experiencing the same roadblocks as you. Like how do I pick the girls up and do this when I have so many tasks that I still have to get done? And I think that normalize.
You have somebody like Dave who does support you, right? So we rely on those people because they have our back, right? And that's almost scary for people like us because we're just, oh, we can do it. We can do it alone. We can do it alone.
Mhm.
So when you do have somebody like that, that's why you went into hyper focus mode is because you know that somebody has your back in that aspect too, like, which I think is amazing.
Oh, I never really thought about it like that, and he would probably feel really happy to hear that because I think sometimes, he does have the weight of the world on him when I get into these modes because I've definitely been in that season. Like, and it's it's not quitting anytime soon. No, but I feel a pull. I feel a pull to like start to rest a little bit. And I think that we need to feed into those too, just as much as we feed into those, quick ideas that we have to run down. Like, these girls. There was another reel I just saw the other day. It was like you are your child's favorite person for the first 10 years of their life. And when you think about it like that and you think about the fact that, 4 years have already gone by with with Arya and Kai, it's like, "Oh my gosh, I only have 6 more years of that before they're wanting to go and do this," and like finding ways to just know that like that's okay to take a break and to do those things. We have so many business owners who are moms as well, and I think that sometimes it's good for them to hear that like you are allowed to put focus into that.
And I think we weren't going to get into this, but let's just get into it. Why not? I think because I'm going through the total opposite right now and I am having to rest and I am having to have my kids like 100% like on those times that I've had to rest, I didn't know how to rest. I didn't know how to just be present in their life. We've been having a lot of changes over on the personal side and just getting used to those changes, getting used to making sure that the kids are good, new schedules, new houses, new everything. And so getting adjusted to that, like my business, luckily it could sustain itself for a little bit. It couldn't do it forever, but I'm so glad that I worked in it as many years as I did to build up a foundation that when I took a step back because I emotionally had to, now I'm so excited and I'm like ready to jump in head first again, but I couldn't do that. And I was almost harder on myself because I couldn't do my day to day that I'm used to doing. And luckily for you, like I had you, Val, Mac, like I have these people in my life who actually were giving me the grace and just being like, Gretchen, just love on yourself. Like just take that time and look, like it made me feel less of a failure. And so now like jumping like right into like, I know those same 3 people are gonna be like, yeah, that's my girl, and I'm so that's why entrepreneurship is so special too, is like if I had an 8 to 5, I probably would have got fired with like where I was mentally, like hands down, because I just wasn't Gretchen. And that's okay. Like I'm relearning who that is. And so again,
Absolutely.
now the grace word is just like everything. Like it's just like give yourself grace. Like you did this today. Okay, I'm proud of you. And then now it's like, oh, okay, like now we have higher standards and we're gonna hit them again.
Yeah, and I think you made a really good point too. It's like you've worked so hard to get to the point where you are now. And for anybody else who's listening who is going through a hard time, if you really do pour into your business now to like set it up for being able to sustain something where if you do have to step away, it's completely fine. Like I think that when you're in the moment, like with you specifically, Gretchen, you might think that the world is coming down on you, and it might seem like it is such a long period of time, but because you have built up such a great reputation for you, your brand, and everything else, to everyone else is so absorbed in their own world that they don't look at it the same. Like, whereas you might think that, oh my gosh, I'm like, everybody hates me. I'm not pouring into this person. I'm not pouring into this venture. I'm not doing that. It's only a blip in time in the grand scheme of things. And because you've already created such a huge name for yourself and such a stable business, that's all people still see. Your reputation far exceeds what you're going through in the moment. Yeah. So I know. How would you say, like, what are some of the things that you do now to integrate, like, I mean, you are going through some changes now. So how do you integrate that? Like when you like physically, like what are you doing to make the changes necessary to be present for your kids and also find time to split it? Because some people don't know how to split the two at all. So how do you focus on your business when you need to work, and then how are you being present in your own life and showing up for Gretchen as well?
Yeah, I'm really learning who Gretchen is too. Gretchen Gretchen hasn't found herself in a long, long time. So, and that's not to say how I'm doing it now is right. That's not to say how I was doing it back then was right. I'm learning that. And so, I mean, I've been on a physical journey for now since I actually left your salon. I watched the video of the commercial that I filmed with you, and I just didn't even recognize who that was behind the camera. But I've grown to like still love who that was too, because in those moments, like I just burned 2 kids. Like I was growing my business. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating good. Like I was eating like one meal a day. And so like prioritizing back to going to the gym and like having one thing that's for me. I go an hour a day. I'm happy as can be. Like everything I'm putting in my body is just going to fuel it. I still have my energy drinks and, some sugar here and there, but like I have a balance with it. I have a control over it now. And it's not that I used to be so obsessed with what my appearance was versus now it's like, how am I feeling? So if I'm feeling weak, okay, what did I eat the day before? Like, so I think just not to get in that whole thing, but I mean, like my physical journey, just that in itself, I'm very blessed that my girls, like, they have the most amazing dad in the entire world who is such a good dad and loves them unconditionally. And so I think that the changes that we've been making, like, honestly, having them part-time, like, or not part-time, but like 50-50 in like certain days. Like I'm so blessed that the days he has them, I am working, working, working morning till night. And I'm prioritizing that time because I realize how much time I have limited time. So I have to get it done in those aspects. And then when I have
Yeah.
them, I've really just been trying to just be mom and just have those moments. And I feel like I'm growing in a mom so much because one, I've rested, and then two, I'm pouring into them one-on-one. Cause like you said, they only have you in that moment. That's all they have.
Yeah.
And when they just look up at you and like, I snap, I get mad, but like when they give you that look and you're like, dang, like, like they just like, I am their favorite person. Like I'm their favorite person. I'm just gonna work through this. Like we all have like generational curses against us that we want to fix. There's things our parents do that we love. And then there's things that we don't like and we don't want to instill that in our kids. And then when you see that side come out of you, that's so hard. Like I think just sorry, I'm getting like off base, but I think
No.
just growing like physically, growing like more priorities with my time wise, learning who I am again. I'm trying like new things. Like my goal this summer was never to say no to like an experience. Like not to say I'll do it again, but like I've just been living, and like really taking care of what Gretchen wants to do and getting out of the comfort zone. I could be sitting at my house crying and being so upset, or I could just be going out and just like seeing what Gretchen likes. The question I used to hate the most is, what do you like to do when you're not working? And I hated that question. I still kind of do. Like,
I
I'm
do
like, my
too.
hobby is working my kids. Like, that is it. And
Yeah.
then I threw working out in there. Like, that is not like that's not, that is balance, but like there should be things that I like to do on top of those things too, that I
Yeah.
do as a human. And so it's been really fun to see like, oh, I did not like that, or wow, that was really fun. Like maybe that could be something I pick up every Tuesday.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I want to bring to light the fact that when you do get in this industry and you start making friends with people who are going through the same exact things with you, it does, make it feel a little bit better when you're able to pull back and it's like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" Well, I don't really watch TV. I just like to read about business," or, "I like to do this." And it's like,
I
there's
order tweezers and try them out.
I know. Like, yeah, I'm such a loser, but there's your circle that like just gets it. And I think that's why, even later in life, we are able to like have those deeper connections, even though we didn't grow up with each other, but we're going through the same path at the same time. And just to have that person that can, listen to what you're saying and actually like feel it because they're going through it. There's just nothing like it. S-
You said something to me the other day that like just has lived in my brain, and it's been just every time I'm being hard on myself, it keeps replaying, and you probably don't even realize you said it. But you said, "Wow, Gretchen, you've I was saying like, oh, I've just been out of the game for so long, like it's been like 2.5 months, like I just have done nothing. Like I just can't, like I'm not in my creative mode at all. Like I really need to focus on my kids and me." Like, I was just crying and venting to you. And you said, "Gretchen, look at like you're already coming out of it after 2.5 months. Like, wow, like that, you're like, wow, like I'm so proud of you." And that, because to me, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like I've sat for 2.5 months. Like who do I think I am? And then you were just, wow, you did that in 2.5 months. And I was like, yeah, I did. You're right. Like, yeah. And so like just that alone, like when I'm feeling hard on myself and stuff, I have like my little Tiffany on my shoulder, just like cheering me on saying that. So that like meant the world.
Yeah. Oh, that makes me feel good. Cause yeah, I didn't even realize it. But yeah, when you told me that, I was just like, okay, 2.5 months. Like, do you know how long it takes for other people? Like, anytime there's any kind of life altering change in your life, like some people could just sit there and they could be down in the dumps. And like, you're allowed to do that. You're absolutely allowed to feel it. You're allowed to like mourn whatever is happening to you. But then there does come a point in time where you have to pick back up and keep things moving. But you are just superwoman to me with everything that you're going through and how good of a sound head you keep on your shoulder. And I know you do have such a great support system, and that goes along with being a good person. And I think that's what I want people to, take away from this and understand is that like if you are a good person and you have your why and you just keep moving forward, it doesn't matter that, if you're not achieving all of the things right at once. Like you can still like I think the true success is being able to be present for the people in your life and not just this, fake Instagram, social media kind of thing. It's like, how are you feeling? I love that you said that. How am I feeling today and what do I need? I think that's a huge thing to ask yourself.
9 years ago, I was on that Facebook group asking because a girl didn't want to, or she was asking for her 50% refund back. I just started doing
Yeah.
lashes. And I was like, I need to have policies in play. And I went on and, back then nobody helped each other. No, everything was top secret. You didn't ask somebody what glue they use. They weren't telling you nicely. Like, that's not how it was. And so I was like, can anybody direct me? I'm not going to pay for a lawyer to draft these up. Like, does somebody have like a skeleton I can go off of? And you're like, oh, use mine. My lawyer wrote it up. Here you go. And you had it sent over to me within 15 minutes. And you didn't know that we were going to start a friendship. You didn't know what was going to
Yeah.
happen years from now. We didn't know we were on this podcast together. We didn't know that you would have the most sound, literally working systematic thing, and that I was going to be like a lash supply owner. Like, we had no idea of that. And you just, oh, here you go, hun. Like, you saw somebody struggling and you did it. And that was out of the
Yeah.
kindness of your heart because that's who you are.
Yeah. And
And it blessed you 20 times. It's blessed me 20 times. Like, you and me were talking when we were having kids. Like, what are you going to do when you go on maternity leave? Did this work for you? Like, how did you word this? Like, we had a soundboard on each other that was like, how are we going to do this, dude? And then I
yeah.
watched what you were going through and I'm like, oh my gosh, this lady, like, if I have to fly to Delaware, let me know. Like, I want to be there for her. Like, she's just so positive with what she's being thrown at her. And I barely knew you then.
That just reminded me. I think it was like literally years ago. I remember you even offered, you were like, "Can I fly you out here?" And like you helped me. And at the time, like I'd never helped anybody else with their business. I was like, I was still trying to keep like my head over the water. And but you saying that just reminded me of it. It's crazy to think the journey that we've taken. Like I remember Gretchen back when you were like getting into photography and doing like you had a children's boutique too for a little while too, and it's like
Oh, I started that on maternity leave because I couldn't lash, and I was like, "Oh, I need to make another
you
business. I can't just enjoy my baby. Let's just make another business. Why
I
not?"
know. I know. I don't know anybody else like that. No. But it no, but like I think that it's really cool to be able to see that and to, even back when so I guess it was last March, you came and did a volume training with my team, my entire team. So flew you out here, did a volume training, and that is when I was like, okay, now I felt like I known this person for so long. And then it was like, as soon as we did meet in person, it was like we had known each other forever. Like we just instantly clicked. And I think we've been inseparable since. But
I loved and being in your your area too, and seeing the way that the girls looked at you, respected you, how much you pour into them, how much they pour into you. It was so cool to see such a healthy place of work. It was a healthy environment. Like everybody wanted to learn. Like I saw the as because I own a salon here, obviously. It's rental, not commission. But I tried commission and I could never get it to work. I could never lead. I didn't know how to lead. Now, if I could have found Tiffany like back then, like when you were doing this coaching program, 110% jump right on and take my money. And to see an actual functioning machine and the respect, the love, the kindness, like it was my dream that I always like pictured. And I was like, she did that. And I saw the
aw.
little things that you have done to build that. It's not just you pay them good and you get them clients, like, and you have a cute spa. Like those are huge parts of it. But like, it's your motivation, your drive, you doing just every little piece that you do. And I think that there's even more little pieces that you don't even realize you're doing, but to hear how the girls talked about you, how they looked at you, how they were like wanting your approval, but also like that they wanted for themselves to do better and to get better and to learn more. They were just open. They were willing. They wanted to better themselves. And that's because they see you just bettering yourself. And it just, I don't know. I was absolutely like amazed by that.
Aw,
So that was one of the coolest trips, scariest trips, but one of the coolest of my life. Everything went wrong on the back end of it, but like
yeah.
front, like I was just so amazed and like I'm just so proud of you and what you've built and like as a human and to get to call you like one of my best friends is literally like the best.
I know. Honestly, if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for all of those things happening sequentially, like you were the one who originally was like, "Hey, apply for this Lashy, apply for the LashCon Lashy, the business award." She was like, "You have to apply for this." I was like, "Okay, well, if Gretchen tells me to do it, I have to do it." I applied. I ended up winning, and then I wasn't even going to go last year, and you were like the person that was like Tiffany, I care about you, and like I want this to be good for you. And I came and I went, and like I really do credit you for the reason that my eyes were opened up to such a different level of what could be achieved in this industry. And so I thank you for that as well. And I think it's really important to point out, the fact that anybody you meet in this industry or in your own lash journey or business journey, you never know where that is going to lead you. So water every single relationship, right? 110%. But yeah, we never would have known that we would have been here. Like we never would have known that any of these things were to happen back then. Like if we had that first conversation and we were like, "Oh yeah, guess what? By the way, 9 years from now, this is what's going to happen." Like
But one
no,
what's
but
crazy, even just saying that is I was asking you for help back then. Like it's almost crazy like what you're doing now for a living, right? Like I saw your value in that long ago, and so that showed that you weren't ready to take that journey yet. But like
mhm.
you were building the foundation to get to the castle on the hill where you could show that. And like that's why I pushed you to go to LashCon and stuff. I'm like, what you can show, like what you have to offer this Lash world, nobody else is doing. And like your quality, you'll stand behind it. And so I, like you said, like who would have thought that you giving me papers I didn't have to hire a lawyer myself would have led to like what you achieved, what I've achieved. Like it's crazy. Just That's why like those events, like anybody you're talking to on social media, like just be yourself, be kind. Not everybody's going to be for you, but you have to be yourself and show up. Like in what, like you said, water those flowers, be up intentional. Like don't go to an event like that and just sleep on it. Like take
Yeah.
advantage of every moment. You're going to be exhausted. I have LashCon hangover for 3 weeks because you are so peopled out. Like, don't touch us.
Yes.
Talk to me. You don't want to. This year, I'm taking a vacation before it, so I'll probably be really rested before, or I'll just be more stressed. One of the two. But it's be intentional. It will be so worth it at the end. You never know the outcome that you could hit.
Your word this year is grace. Mine is intentional. I love that word. I'm glad that you just used it. Um, Everything that I'm doing, I'm making sure that it's intentional for a reason. Like, is it going to get me to where I want to be, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and even the time that I'm spending with my family? Like, I want to be intentional with that. So I love that you just brought that up. But
But
okay,
also, and
so
at our party, we have to have the word grace and intentional somewhere. Like we're
yes,
gonna do something with it. Mark our words, guys. Go find it.
100%. We'll have like a scavenger hunt. Whoever gets it gets a big prize. No, but okay, so to wrap this up, now that you are in this era of like, okay, you're back, you're booming, what is next for you when it comes to scaling your business, or what is the best idea that you are working towards achieving right now when it comes to growing your current business model, and what that's going to look like?
So I actually have an e-course that I am about to release. I can't exactly say what it is quite yet. Some stuff is pending on it, but it's coming very, very soon. And it's going to help lash salon owners, lash techs. It's going to help you add another revenue stream into your business and do it the right way and save you a lot of money along the way. So keep an eye out for that. That's a little teaser. I know I've only
Mhm.
literally told 3 people about it top, so it's gonna be it's gonna be very I mean the next big thing.
Yeah, I gotta say, when you told me the idea, like I'm squirming out of excitement right now because it is going to be such a huge game changer for the industry, for so many people out there. Because I know everything you pour into it is so like top notch, professional. Like there's nothing like this e course that is going to be, on the market, and I don't know. I think we're gonna look back a year from now and just be like, wow, that was the best move you possibly could have ever made. So if you guys are listening, make sure you're following along, at My Brand Lashes so you can see when that all comes to fruition. But Gretchen, I can't wait to see you again soon. I can't wait to finish planning this party. And for all of you guys, we will see you the opening night of LashCon.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me, Tiff.
Yep. Bye.